Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. Through an S, I would have sextet. But I think that's the only bingo likely to be available. However, I've got text on my rack, which would certainly leave an okay rack leave. No S. Okay, so what are the floaters? Well, nothing providing anything amazing. I can place my X underneath the E, but I can't play text in that spot. And I don't want to keep hold of 3 T's. So, how to resolve this? I guess I can just play text here. 26 points, that's not bad. And it does sort the rack out. Do I really not have anything through the C? I don't think so. So I'm going with this. Great. I draw the first blank, and that looks a pretty bingo-y rack. I've got betane, or betan. Does that play? Well, I can't see anywhere for that, but what about columns 4 and 5 through the C and the O? I have obedient through the O, not a double-double. I'm just wondering about, well, I was wondering about Cenobite, which would be a double-double, but is it good? That would also play in column 4. Cenobite. Just not sure of that. Let me run through the alphabet, having in mind C and O. That would be Cenobite through an O. Obedient. Benefit as a 7. Now, Cenobite remains available. Tempting. Nice bingo by my opponent, 86 points, which makes a double-double even more tempting. But can I find one I'm sure of, or more sure of than Cenobite? So I'm still thinking about C and O. That looks promising. That would be Cenobite through a C. Tenebrio, not a double-double. Now, the blank as an S. With an O. Can't see anything, although there could be something there. So let's see what this looks like. I'm going to try this. It could come off. In which case I'll be spared this tricky looking rack. No challenge yet. If this stays on, I've got the cue to think about, but I do have the eye to go with it. And I may be able to score highly enough elsewhere that I can keep the Q on my rack. I note, for example, that my H can go by either of the E's in the bingos on the board, and my Y can go by can go by one of them. This could still be challenged, but it hasn't been challenged yet, so I need to pay some attention to my rack. Row H, quite hot. If I could get a high-scoring tile next to the E. So I think the first thing to consider is what I can do with my queue. So I've got chi, and it, but that's... Okay, Cenobite not challenged. Nice play by my opponent. All good. Bocage takes an S. He's taken my dodgy Q spot, and dodgy because I would have been reluctant to play G, stopping one square short of a double letter square. So is anywhere available for Chi now? Well, I've got chin onto the N of renests, cheese down here. But that rack leave after that is just horrible. 5 consonants. And the score, only 22 for chin. I could play Thy here for 37 points, keeping hold of QI, but G and L don't go great together. Is there a slightly longer play in this spot? Don't think so. I can't play parallel to renests on the left. I don't have anything to go in front of the R. I've got nothing to go after it. So, do I play Thy for 37? Still 4 U's to come. Thigh gives nothing away. GQ, a really bad combination. With an N, I would have kneecab. The trouble with playing the Q straight away is the 5 consonants. This is, I think, better than 5 consonants. Maybe it's not. If I played QI, I would still have Thy for next go, and I'd have gotten rid of the Q and scored 22 points. There is some synergy going on here. With an I would have light. And the Y is a quasi-vowel. And I hate the Q. Any alternative spots for the Q? Apart from the cheese one. No, I think I'm going with this. I have tightly. Wow, I actually have a bingo. Not sure there is anywhere for it. And I do actually have tight and light in column 6, which I would have had last go. But that doesn't get the Y tripled twice. Now, a play of Thigh now would leave a rack leave of Glit, which is not too bad. Is there anywhere for tightly? Cenobite only takes an S. GI takes nothing in front. BE takes nothing in front that I've got. So at the moment, tightly doesn't play. Renests takes nothing in front of it. So Thigh certainly the best. The best I've seen at the moment. Just wondering if I can extend that. Oh, I just need to extend HY. Lithy, tithy, not good. So 15 minutes on both our clocks. And we're dead level, 134 each. Both blanks have gone. Q and X have gone. Z and J still to come. And all the U's. ET is available as a pair. Can't see anything with that. Mainly because this rack is pretty unbingo-y, apart from the fact that it does make a bingo. Column 8 available for a non-bingo beginning DE using 6 tiles. So I've got Delight, which is 1 tile short of the triple, so that's no good. Opponent taking a while with his move. Now this spot between E and I is quite useful for my H. Do I have an H play which ends Y? I don't think Hetty is good. But Het is good, and Hey is good. Not as that play not as good as Thigh, but it's useful to have a second candidate move. Now, what about row H beginning with the E? I have Ethel. 36 points. Interesting. Interesting. The score is pretty much the same as Thy, but the rack leaf's slightly better. However, the play does provide 3 floaters. So, tricky to compare the two. I guess it partly depends how my opponent plays. And he is taking a while with his move. Okay, Dali. So he doesn't take out any of the spots I was considering. Dali only takes an S. He hasn't provided a spot for Tightly. So I'm inclined to play Thigh. I don't really want to create all those extra floaters. The board is fairly tight and our scores are quite tight. Pretty horrible. And I burnt my H, so this spot is no longer as valuable. Can't see a bingo with this rack. My G can go between the I and the E, so is Jelly good? G-E-L-L-Y. Nice score, but not a good rack lead with 2 I's and 4 still unseen. Not sure it's good. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it's short for Gelignite. So do I have anything beginning with the E? Well, even if I did, it wouldn't score very much because I don't think I've got a way of placing my Y in second place. Bay only takes an S. Bay takes an O in front. Two S's to come. X takes an I after it. But that's not going to be helpful for me this go. Not many words have IIT in them, if any. Now, do I have something down from DE using 6 tiles? I've got the LY ending, the ILY ending. Now, through a U, I would have Guiltily. Wow. And 4 U's to come. Maybe my opponent will provide a floating U. I can't think of any front extensions for Cood, reaching the triple word square. Gid takes nothing in front. Eater takes quite a few front hooks, none that I have. Now, have I seen anything so far? Well, I guess it's just Jelly. £28 points, not bad. I have a 14-point lead, which is pretty slender. My opponent taking a while with his move, still 49 tiles to come, and he's burnt nearly half his time. So he's about on track in terms of the playing of the tiles. But he has used up considerably more time than me. So he may get under time pressure, and I may be able to help with that. Really unhelpful having only a pair of eyes as my vowels. It significantly restricts the options open to me. And that's part of the problem with Jelly. It's an okay score, but the Rackleaf IIT is asking for trouble. So although it's better than nothing. Now, opponent's played. He's played Fed, provided nothing. I'm going with the score. I do draw an I, but it's not a terrible rack. I draw an E, which is very helpful. And the M, which is a scoring tile. Through an E, I would have Emma right eye as a non-bingo. Where can I play my M? No O for obase. 5 O's to come. Now, can I use the X this go? No, I can't. Nothing goes after DE that I've got, apart from the I. Just looking at the L, I have Limiter and Miltia. Not much to really hang on to on this rack. Well, I guess EIRT wouldn't be a bad rack leave, or even Timer, but I think I'm going to have to burn the M to score. Mirai is good. And my righty is good, which would get rid of all my eyes. Can't see anywhere for that. Feta takes nothing in front of it. So I haven't really seen anything fantastic. But the board is not offering very much for either of us. I guess row H is still available for a 30 to 40 point play. But I can't see anything which begins EM. Or indeed E anything. Okay. 38 points for my opponent. That's pretty good. He goes into a 17-point lead. My R can go between GI and T, so is retime good? Horrendous rack leap, 2 eyes. But 32 points, which is quite nice. WE takes an E in front. Oh, well, I think I've seen the play. Mightier. Yeah, 38 points. Takes out a really dangerous lane. Rackley's okay. Yep, I'm going with this. Pretty horrendous. Pretty dreadful. It's balanced, no duplicates, but it's these last 3 tiles. V, U, and W. Tiles from hell. Through an R, I could get rid of all of them with Vrow. Onto an E, I could get rid of 2 of them without Vi. Very close game. I'm only 20 points ahead, and my opponent's on turn. 1S to come. Ah, that means I've drawn an S. Yes, I thought there were 2, and there were, but one of them is now on my rack. I was so distracted by my poor tiles that I hadn't appreciated that I've got one really good tile. Now, do I have anything through the E? My S can go between GI and T. That's it. Can't see anything. Either beginning with E or beginning SE. Great. My opponent's provided an E for vowel. and for out vi. Or I could play vow for 33 points and an okay rack leave. Slightly dangerous with 3 U's unseen. But vow doesn't give a huge amount away. I can't see a way of getting rid of V, W and U. If I play out vi, only 20 points, and this is 13 more points. If I can dodge the U's, this is a manageable or even good rack leave. I'm going with this. I do dodge the U's, but I pick up another V. However, if I now play VAU or UVA, I've got a good rack leave. And although the V is often regarded as a bad tile, since the rest of the rack is non-bingo-y, on this occasion it's good because it is a scoring tile. I don't have any EV plays. Evita, not good. And nothing beginning SEV either. I have a 30-point lead. 6 minutes on my opponent's clock. There's 26 tiles in the bag. And a tightish board. I guess column 12 available for a little 3-letter play or 5-letter play. Wow, opponent plays the S for 41 points. Interesting. Well, he certainly hasn't got another S because I've got it. 41 points, that's a good score for him. What can I do with my V? He's now got a 9-point lead. Wiz takes nothing after it. Darley takes an S and I've got an S, so I'd like to leave that available. So I could just play Vor here. Still 3 U's to come, that's annoying. There's a very good chance I'll draw one of them. But this rack leave of AIST is quite good, especially with the Darley hook. And the floating L and floating S available for bingos. Let me check the remaining vowel situation. 14 out of 28, exactly half. Only 2 E's. Can I do better than 18, which isn't very good at all? Don't think so. I don't think there's much on offer on this board, and it's good to get rid of the V and the U. I do dodge the U's, and that looks promising. I have pianist, but the S isn't in the right spot to take advantage of the Darley hook. Pianists doesn't work. Can't see any other 7-letter lanes. So, what about the floating L? Not good. Well, yes it is. Alpinist. I've got alpinist. Alpinist, anti-slip. Possibly something else. Wow. A pintails and tail spin. But of those, only alpinist plays. Could be blocked. Opponent could play across from the E. So, mustn't assume that that will be available. What else could there be? What about the floating S? Well, that's pianists. Does pianists have an anagram? Only 4 minutes on my opponent's clock. I would have pianiste and patinize, I think, through an E. OF and WE, not particularly promising 2-letter sets. Vor takes nothing in front, so my opponent can't play in column 1. So there's a fair chance he could play in row H. And the floater's not likely to be helpful because they would have to be the first place in a word. 3 minutes on my opponent's clock. He is creeping towards time trouble. And if this L stays available, I'll be able to get Alpinist down pretty quickly. The Eye of Dali also available. Fantastic. Opponent gets 25 for Jai, and Alpinist stays available. Alpinist for 66. My opponent has provided quite a hot lane in column 8, but Alpinist is better than anything there. Nice rack. It's not a bingo. It's not a bingo-y rack, either a 7 or an 8, I don't think. But at this stage of the game, with a small lead, it's really important to have scoring tiles to keep scoring 20, 30, maybe 40 points. Because that could well be the difference between winning and losing. And look at the remaining tiles. Only one tile worth more than 1 point, the C. So my opponent's not going to score a huge amount in column 8. However, if he doesn't play there, I can play head for a big score and possibly more. He does play there, but only 28 points. He's behind by 22 points. So how can I score using my scoring tiles? Not a huge number of opportunities on the board. I've got dead as a prefix, but I can't reach the triple. OF only takes a T and an F. I certainly don't have anything which goes. Now, what about column 12? Do I have anything which goes in front of OF? 10 minutes on my clock. D goes in front, so I could play DAC. 4 tiles left. I'm looking to play off 3. So DAC for 29 points, and this is the point I was making. It's a decent score, and it could be just the sort of score I need to keep my nose in front. And the rack lever is retaining a vowel. It's retaining a scoring tile. Now, Jack is good. Do I have any K something plays? I think Tor might be good, but I'm not sure. So I'm not going to risk that. Well, I've got Arc. Let me just pause here. I've got Arc. 35 points, that's even more. And I'm keeping the D back for Doff. Yep, I think this is a better play. I'm going with this. I have changed. Wow. I wasn't expecting to have a bingo on my rack. I do. There's nowhere for it. But I do have it. Jack takes an E at the end. D goes after UR. So I could play Deg. For over 30 points. And I've also got Deg in column 12. I've drawn the C. My opponent has only 1 pointers. I'm 60 points ahead. So I think even if he bingos, he draws 1 tile, I think I can outscore or outrun my opponent. He's only got 2 minutes on his clock. Fantastic. Will he provide a spot for changed? Come on, you can do it. Just checking that Dali doesn't take any of the tiles I've got. It doesn't. Okay, 17 points for my opponent. I can see what he's got left. He's got no bingo. So I don't need to worry about that. I need to think about going out in 2. 8 minutes on my clock. I've got A-ing, which is quite nice. 39 points. Can I go out with aced? I can. I can play aced and at, aced and as. What if both of those are blocked? Aced and tar. Okay, well that's all in the same part of the board. I have aced, arse, and R's and cup. So yeah, I think this looks best. So I'm now 60 points in the lead. My opponent's only got 6 tiles, so he can't bingo, and I'm guaranteed to go out. So the game is won. Where is the best spot for me to go out? Well, aced in column 1, 23 points. I think that's probably best. Aura doesn't provide me with any new opportunities. So what about aced here? 22 points. £23 points, I'm going with this. And just wait for my opponent to formally end the game. Which he does. And the final score, 357 to my opponent, 455 to me, a winning margin of 98 points. So a close-ish game, but actually quite a big final winning margin. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go fast. He played Cood, my rack. I didn't like the rack leave after X, so I'm happy to drop 10 points and have a better rack leave. Great rack for my opponent. He gets a double-double, 86 points. Fortunately, I can come straight back with Cenobite. But Bentiust, F10. Wow. Not even doubled, but scoring the same as a double-double. Interesting. Opponent plays Bocage, and I had a tricky choice here, whether to dump the queue or to keep it and get more points with Thy, or indeed Ethel. But I didn't like the GQ combination, which you can see is present in all of these top scoring moves, top three top scoring moves. So I still like Chin. Opponent has a nice rat, no bingo. I have Tightly, nowhere for it. Ethel's still available, but I play Thigh to keep the board tight. Opponent plays Fed. And I play Jelly. But Tilly is available. K12. Okay, well that has some merit. Slightly dangerous, opening up scoring spots in rows N and O, but a nicer rack leave. Opponent plays Wiz, and I then have Mightier, which is nice. Good score and totally sorts the rack out. Fenny for my opponent, and then Vow for me. Spoon. And I now play Vor for 18. I could have got 32 for Vita. Ah, quite nice. It does, however, keep the U and open row A, but it's 14 more points. I'm not sure which is best. I quite like AIST. And Vor gives nothing away. Opponent plays Jai. And I have Alpinist. And Inapt for 53. Oh, wow, look at that. Parallel to Jai. If I hadn't spotted the bingo. And all those U's were on my opponent's rack. He plays Luor. And I have Arc for 35. No scoring tiles for my opponent, and he's 50 points behind and only one tile in the bag, so his goose is cooked. He plays I have changed, nowhere for it, and I play Aing. which was really nice. My opponent has Aura, and finally aced at 1C is the highest scoring out. ECAD also available in the same spot. So, pretty good stuff. Close game right to the end. And then just with the tiles I drew the scoring tiles. My opponent drew the 1-pointers and the U's, and that made all the difference, and I was able to run out a winner by nearly 100 points. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.